Okay, that was funny. I met the owner of the boat who came down, walked all the way down from their condo, and his name is Mike as well, so what do you know? Anyway, okay, so boat itself, you can see on the swim platform that bit of growth, or not growth, but sort of algae or whatever's on the top. This tide is you can see the tide running right there. It's a pretty significant tidal flow through here. So what happens is it splashes up on there, and then any kind of nutrients in the water just bloom like algae or whatever on the top. I'm sure they have to keep that scrubbed off, but anyway, that's what you see there. That would come off easily. I looked at the transom and it looks good. The swim platform is firmly attached, which I always feel for, and doesn't have many major dings on the back, but I've been all the way around the boat and it looks like it's in good shape. This door here, it's a nice entrance door coming through here. So, all right, I will, well, since I'm here, I'll come through the hood this way. All right, this kind of makes me laugh. This is not the shower that goes on here. As a matter of fact, it won't fit in the recess. This is a Scanvic handle, and I just ordered a couple for another client of mine up in Connecticut. So it fits in there, and then that cap goes over it, so no problem. You can get that on Amazon. Order that. Actually, maybe eBay, I can't remember, but it's a Scanvic product. So looking around, you can see the cockpit, a couple of nice soft fishing chairs, and I'm going to walk you around the boat first, and then I'll do the engine room. Again, she needs to be, you can see some rain streaks here, and I'll tell you, with that bridge, there's constant diesel smoke that's coming. One of the major terminals in Charleston, you can see one of the shipping, or one of the trucks over there carrying a container. When the wind's blowing this direction, and right now it is, this boat is constantly getting covered. This is probably diesel exhaust. But that said, I can tell someone washes it on a regular basis because it's clean. It's just that I can see where it's run down recently. It would look much, much worse were it not regularly taken care of. But the anodizing on the arch looks great. Everything there looks in nice condition. The isinglass, it's not perfect, but I have a feeling it can be cleaned and polished out. This whole enclosure is in good shape. I don't see any breaks or tears anywhere. And the frame itself looks like a nice, solid bimini frame that goes over the whole boat. It's a nice feature. I think the soft tops are certainly more attractive than the hard tops, and they both have their merits. So, all right, as we step into the cockpit, ice maker there. I did turn it on to see if it came on, and it powered up. I could hear it humming, so whether it makes ice is another question, but I'm assuming probably it does. There's one part that goes bad in those that's a $150 part if they stop making ice generally. But all right, here are the electronics, Raymarine Electronics. E90 Hybrid Touch, that's a good unit. I've used that many times. And here, electronic controls here. No bow thruster on this boat, as you know. This is a remote spotlight, and I'm going to show you a real pretty cool feature about that light. If you'll look up there, you don't see the light, and it's not on the top because it's a soft top, so I'll show you that, what I discovered later. But everything's clean. Upholstery's in nice condition in here, and I'll give you a view after the cockpit there. So. Oh, by the way, he did point out the base. He said someone reached on and they broke the base of the flag out, and the flag's actually laying right there. So he says he has all that. He just needs to get it repaired. So, and I don't know what this is. Oh, that's Marine Stereo cockpit control. So. All right, let's step below. Down here, looking around, these floors, this veneer it's just a shallow fiberglass pan, and on some boats, moisture gets under there, and it doesn't go anywhere, it just gets stuck, and so that releases. But this is nice and solidly here. I felt all around. Again, remember, I just had one listed in 06, and then I just sold in 07 up to Connecticut, so I've had a little experience with this over the past year. Cockpit looks nice. I don't see any leaks. Maybe just a little bit of streaking under that light, port light there. I don't see any water damage on the top of the shelving there. That's something that happens if people leave those ports loose. They can leak, and I don't see any water damage there or there. One thing that is a bad design in all of these boats is this particular location for the intake for the HVAC, and you can see all these fins have broken out, and then the filter is evident. The filter gets replaced from inside here in the settee, but we've got a company, I know how to source that. We sourced it on another boat, the one that went up to Boston. So I said Connecticut, but I meant Boston. So we can order this, and it's not cheap. It's about 120 bucks, I think, but it makes this look brand new here. So aside from that, everything looks good. The head looks good. Head compartment looks good. Electric head, and fridge is on and freezer works. Noticed that too. Pretty clean. I always can't stand going in dirty fridges. But that is nice and clean. The Kenyan cooktop looks good. It all looks good. So, give you a view around the salon here. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. I'm just trying to show you everything. So, let me look at this real quick. Oh, all right. This looks nice. Sometimes these port lights get mold and mildew in here, and I'm not sure someone hasn't come back. I can see fresh sealant and trimmed this out, which looks really nice. On some of them though, this starts to get black mildew or kind of mold, and it makes them unattractive, but this one looks good. And if I had my best guess, yep, that one looked great as well. So, all right, moving forward, not much to say about the V-berth, but it's here. This cabin is pretty big for a boat of this size, and hanging locker to starboard and hanging locker to port. The filler is in place, but you can make it into a true V-berth, and it looks like they've got a little table / magazine rack stowed under there, which is nice. And again, the same trim work was done here. This looks good, really good. But these start to look dingy, and someone has taken care of that there. So, all right. Let me move into the engine compartment and show you that, and then I'll walk you around the deck, and we'll be finished with the tour. I looked under here. There are two 8D batteries here, starting batteries, and what the heck, I'm just going to show you while we're here. So 8D there and two 4Ds there. So that's your house bank and your two starting batteries, and that's a lot of battery power for this boat. I have noticed there's a lot of junk stuffed everywhere under the bilges, but they all look clean, so it's okay. Bothers me a little bit, not too much. Shocks are working well on the engine room, but you've also got, looks like those have been replaced in the recent past. This, you know, if you're going to be doing any long-term work, you want to lift up this aluminum support. The engines look fine. One thing I'll always look for is if this exhaust elbow has been replaced. Looks like it's been replaced on both engines, which is good because they only last about 5 years if you're running the boat at all. These blankets here are going to probably need to get replaced. They're sort of falling apart there. That's not an expensive solution, but I'm going to suggest that those are going to need to be done. A little bit of corrosion on the engine mounts, and otherwise, also I see some insulation up under there that's falling. Not there. Let me see if I can show you. There it is. You can see it falling down and kind of a little crumbly forward. Engine compartment is pretty clean and squared away. It's not as good as I like to see at times, but honestly, it's just mostly just stuff needs to be wiped down. Like here, it's really fine. I think they've done a good job. And I believe, off the top of my head, this is a Northern Lights generator. And I really like the installation. This box will make it very quiet. And this is a usually fairly bulletproof generator. The only thing that I know that goes bad with those is the water pump. It needs to get replaced. But aside from that, there's an oil change system there. And these are your electronic ZF controller units for both. But other than that, it looks good. I mean, I would come in and detail this engine compartment, but I don't see anything that really worries me too much. I'm not going to go as far as checking the oil. We're going to make assumptions there. Overall, it looks okay. And there. So let me put this down. Sorry for this whole long unedited version, but I figure a way I can get it to you sooner. Make a quick walk around the deck, and then we'll be done. If you notice, one of the things, this is often it's possible for this to get corroded and not get taken care of, but I think someone's waxed this and taken care of it during their ownership, so it all looks nice. I mean, it does, and the canvas is in good condition. All of this appears to be in very nice condition. Seams look good all the way along. I don't love this. I think it could be polished out one more time and probably be okay, but again, it's not cracked or torn. And you can have someone cut out and replace all of this for a couple $1,000. I do not think that it needs that on the Sunbrella. The decks seemed solid. I've walked all the way around. It's solid up on the cabin house, all along here. The windshield looks good. The anodizing, or not the anodizing, but the powder coating on the windshield frames all looks good. And I mean, up here, these stainless hatches are pretty bulletproof. They look good, and the port lights, again, walking along. I look to see, sometimes these supports get loose if someone has pushed the boat around a lot from here, depending on how they dock or whatever, but all of these seem like they're really still well adhered, as much as the ones that I've seen. So, and then what I was going to show you is there's not a light up here. That light plugs into a 12-volt outlet, and it's stowed there. And this actually drops into that space forward of the anchor for navigating at night, and they just store it in there. I think I would probably store it in a less salty place, but that's where it gets plugged into, I feel certain. And then the remote control enables you to, it's a good solution. It's not permanent, and you don't have to look at the light. You can keep it out of the UV, but I've never seen that before. And then the foot controls for the windlass. But I'll give you a view aft. Again, the boat looks good. If one day of a detail crew on this boat could make it, I mean, really, really gleam, and it's already not bad. So, I'll show you along. I won't walk all the way along there, but there you go. All right, Mike, I think that's mostly the tour. I hope I haven't missed anything. If I have, I can certainly come back, but I'll upload this for you tonight, and see what your thoughts are. One last view. That's it. Sorry, this is a almost 13 and a half minute video.